How did the Civil War increase national debt? Have you ever wondered how a war could change a nation's finances forever? The American Civil War is a perfect example of this. The national debt skyrocketed during this conflict, and understanding how this happened reveals a lot about the war's economic impact. Before the war began in 1860, the United States government had a relatively small debt of about $64.8 million. However, as the war raged on, the financial demands became overwhelming. The total cost of the Civil War was estimated at around $5.2 billion. This staggering amount was necessary to fund the large Union Army and Navy, as well as to supply weapons, equipment, and other military necessities. To cover these enormous expenses, the federal government had to borrow heavily. By the end of the war in 1865, the national debt had risen to over $2.6 billion, which was more than 40 times the pre-war debt level. A significant factor in this increase was the Legal Tender Act of 1862. This act allowed the government to print paper money known as greenbacks. Unlike previous paper money, which was backed by gold, greenbacks were not tied to gold reserves. This new form of currency could be used to pay taxes and purchase goods, providing the government with a fresh way to finance the war without needing immediate gold backing. Another important development was the National Bank Act of 1863. This legislation created a national banking system that could loan money to the government and issue a standardized national currency. This helped organize and stabilize the financial system, which was crucial for supporting the war effort. While the government did raise taxes, only about 21% of the war funding came from taxation. Most of the funds, around 66%, were obtained through borrowing, and the remaining 13% was financed through inflation caused by the issuance of greenbacks. This reliance on borrowing and new currency contributed to the rapid increase in national debt. The financial demands of the Civil War were unprecedented in United States history at that time. Managing this debt would shape future fiscal policies and force the government to innovate in monetary policy and federal finance. The consequences of the war did not end with the fighting. They extended into the economic landscape of the nation for years to come. In summary, the Civil War increased the national debt primarily due to the extraordinary costs of waging a large-scale conflict. The government borrowed extensively and issued new forms of currency, fundamentally changing the nation's financial system. This left a debt burden that was many times greater than what existed before the conflict began. Understanding this financial transformation helps us appreciate the lasting impact of the Civil War on the United States.